Hello, this is Jim McKeith, Developer Evangelist for RemObject Software. After the release of our reusable relativity server, we realized it was more common for people to create clients for existing servers. In the summer 2010 release of Data Abstract, we are introducing our new project wizard for Visual Studio. Here, let me show you. Currently, our wizard has both WinForms and WPF templates for C#, Delphi Prism, and Visual Basic. Our new project wizard makes creating templates easy for us, so we are planning to add many more templates in future releases. I'll start with a WinForms application in C#. Each project type presents you with the same opening screen for the wizard. You have three options from here. The first option, Client and a new custom data abstract server, is used to create both a client and a custom server. So if you're starting a new server and not using relativity, this is the option you want to choose. The next option is for client for an existing custom data abstract server. Use this option if you have a data abstract server created in either Delphi or .NET that you want to create a client for. And then client for relativity server. This is the option to choose if you want to create a client for an existing relativity server. I'm going to start with a client for an existing custom data abstract server. I have running right here the PC Trade sample server that ships with Data Abstract. So you have to specify the target URL, the channel type, and the message type. We're using the default of HTTP and bin, so we're going to go ahead and hit next. At this point, it's connected to the server to find out what services are available. We're going to use the DA sample service, and we have no login required for this schema. From here, you select which tables you want. I'm going to select products and groups. And I'm also going to stick with the recommended defaults of DA link and bin2 data streamer. And now it's created our project for us. Open up Solution Explorer, and there we can see it. So let's go ahead and fill out this application really quick. We're going to go to the main form and open up the designer. And we'll drop a couple components on here. We want a label, combo box, and a data grid. So now we want to add an event on load for the main form. And we're going to pull the groups and put them in our combo box. So this is going to pull all the groups, order it by group name, and then put that in the combo box, just showing the group name. So let's go ahead and run this now and see that it's working. So we see here, it is showing all the groups, and we need to put a caption in there on our label. Product, oops. And we set an event on here for the selected item changed, selected value changed. And here we're going to load the product for the selected group, all the products for the selected group. So there we just get the group from the selected item in the combo box, retrieve all the products matching that group ID, and then place those in the data grid. Go ahead and run this. There we go. The great thing about this is because we're using the DA link, it uses the dynamic where to only pull down the data that we need. So if you're pulling from a very large database, it only pulls down the specific products for each group we select. Now we'll do an example of a WPF application with relativity. Again, we're presented with the same project kind selection screen on the wizard. And we're going to choose relativity. We have relativity server running down here in our system tray, along with the RO0conf hub. The 0conf hub lets us discover relativity servers automatically. If not, then we can specify the URL down here. If we have an AES password, we can provide that here. Now we select the domain we want. If we don't have a domain setup that we want to use, we can start the admin tool from here. We have to provide the username and password specific to that domain. We also have the option to store the login in the application settings file. You can use this if you have a default login that everybody uses that's the same. Now we select which tables we want. I'm going to go ahead and select them all. And again, we'll use the default recommended DA link and bin2 data streamer. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at what's in this application that was generated for us. In the settings file, it stores the username and password since we told it to, as well as the domain and schema, and an indicator as if we want to have the username and password. If we look in the data module, we'll see that it has all the components we would provide if we were connecting to a server manually. There's the client channel component. This is where we could come to change the URL if we needed to. There is the bin message component, the bin2 data streamer, which you can see it's the bin2 data streamer here, and the remote service. All those are tied together along with the remote data adapter to provide us all the connectivity we need to our remote server. And then based on the tables on the remote server, we have this table definitions file here. Table definition file has a class for each table. So here's the customers table, the vendors table, suppliers table, and then each table has a property, the ID, the name, phone, etc., for each column in that table. So this is how it knows what the tables look like on the server. In addition to the components on the data module, if we look at the code, we'll see that it's also constructed all the code for us as well. In the constructor, it retrieves the domain name and schema, storing it in local properties, which you can see are provided here, as well as this exposes the remote data adapter as data adapter. It also handles the on login needed event, which the first thing it does is it performs a login with the saved user ID and password. Or if that succeeds, it returns. Otherwise, it uses the login form, which is over here, to prompt the user to provide a login and password. And then tries the login again, which we can jump in here and see that method. It's in login logoff handler. Performs a standard login here. And if that fails, then it tells the user the login failed. And there's another helper procedure on here for selecting the schema, setting active schema. And this is the code that's generated for us automatically. And then the third option in here, for a new client and custom data abstract server, we'll get into that more in a future video. But like I said before, that's for creating a whole new server with a new client based on that server. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of RemObjects TV. If you'd like to see more videos in this series, please visit remobjects.com/TV. And while you're there, download the summer 2010 release of Data Abstract and check out some of these features for yourself. Thank you.